As some of you might already know, IGN made a community post a couple of weeks ago talking about Titanfall 3. When I saw the post, I went ballistic. I couldn't believe the Titanfall community might be actually getting a third installment in the Titanfall franchise. Heading over to IGN's community tab, you'll find this post which reads as, "Respawn wants to make Titanfall 3, but they aren't making Titanfall 3 at this very moment. Do you want to see Titanfall 3? Along with an image that says, Respawn's CEO wants to make Titanfall sequel, but there are no plans to yet. This was a very left field post from IGN, because I would have never expected them to make something like this. However, I can't say I'm disappointed because the Titanfall games are finally getting some good recognition. The amount of likes on this single post has reached a whopping 22,000, far above most other posts on IGN's community tab, just showing the amount of love and care the Titanfall community still has. Attached to this post is a link to an article which goes into detail further. Respawn Entertainment CEO Vice Zampella has said he would love to make another Titanfall game, but it's not the cards yet. Speaking to Barron's, Zampella spoke about the possibility of developing Titanfall 3, but he said there aren't any plans for the studio to do so at the moment. He said he doesn't get fans' hopes up because if he says yes, they'll get disappointed when it doesn't come. However, if Titanfall 3 does come to be, it would have to be the right project at the right time. It has to be the right thing, Zampella said. It's such a beloved franchise for the fans and also for us. If it isn't right moment in time, the right idea, then it doesn't make sense. This reiteration comes nearly 3 months after EA cancelled a secret single-player Titanfall game, codenamed Titanfall Legends, which is set in the same universe as Titanfall and Apex Legends. This cancellation comes after the mobile versions of Apex Legends and Battlefield were shut down. In September 2021, Titanfall's community coordinator Jason Garza said it was unlikely that Respawn would develop Titanfall 3, as it's focusing on improving Titanfall 2 and Apex Legends, the latter of which had quickly grown in popularity ever since its shadow dropped 2 years prior. The former fell short in its project sales, but still managed to gain a cult following. The company also shifted its focus to Star Wars, focusing on the success of Jedi Fallen Order. Its sequel, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, launches on April 28th, and director Stig Osman wants to make Cal Kestis' story a trilogy. There's a few important things that I want to go over from this post. The first thing is how the game isn't technically coming, but has a pretty good chance at materializing. Titanfall 3 has been speculated well before any of this information has come out. However, it is important that they release it at the right time if it ever gets to that point, as they made that very clear in the article. One of the bigger reasons why Titanfall 2 didn't succeed was because of its release window. It was put between a Battlefield and a Call of Duty, fracturing the player base. I have no doubt this was a shortcoming from Respawn's publisher EA. The second takeaway from this article is how the CEO acknowledges that it would have to be done correctly, or as he puts it, the right thing. Say Titanfall 3 does come out and it's garbage. This will not only ruin such an important game, but will let down such a dedicated fanbase that has already gone through so many issues. I have no doubt in my mind that the only reason why we don't already have a Titanfall 3 is because of EA. Maybe not entirely, but definitely a huge factor. I get that they wanted to focus on Jedi Survivor, but with the way that things are going, I don't think that's a very good idea.
No, 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 no.
The last thing that I want to focus on from this post is the connections between Apex Legends and the cancelled single-player game with regards to Titanfall 3. And while I don't know a whole lot about the cancelled single-player game, all I can say is that it's very suspicious how they cancelled that project, then immediately expressed interest in Titanfall 3. Also, with the success of Apex Legends, I personally believe that this is a bad thing for the possibility of Titanfall 3. Now let me explain why. The monetization in Apex Legends has proven to Daddy EA how they think monetization should be in their video games. And while I definitely cannot argue that the system doesn't work, I don't want to see that type of monetization in Titanfall 3 or any Titanfall project for that matter. But as I said, with the success of the money-making system that is Apex Legends, I don't see a future where Titanfall 3 comes out and doesn't have these egregious microtransactions. I don't see the Jedi games having microtransactions, so there's still hope with that regard. However, most likely that won't be the case because of how closely tied Apex Legends and Titanfall are because of their universe. And also the Jedi games are single player, not multiplayer. Back then, games like Titanfall 2 weren't about as draining as much money from their consumers as possible. They were just about creating fun and letting players have a good time. Games nowadays, mostly battle royales, are focused on a strict way to play a game that doesn't even support custom games. Games seem to be much more profit driven as they get closer to a more modern form of gaming. For example, let's take a look at Titanfall 2's cosmetic and unlock system. Main camo/skin were unlocked simply by playing and leveling up. At the end of each game, based on how you did, you would get a certain amount of in-game credits that you could spend on a whole catalog of unlocks. In addition, you could get free advocate gifts that give you random items like more credits or just unlocking a skin. This system is by far the best I've seen throughout any cosmetic-based systems in gaming. However, there's one issue. It doesn't make money. Money! And that's the biggest issue, isn't it? As I said, it's not even subjective anymore to think that these companies are profit-based. It is clear and objective by looking at these types of games, where you can clearly see the shift that the gaming industry has gone through, and I hate it. Unfortunately for me and others who think like this, it won't ever go back to the way that it was. It might be hard to accept that there's no world where Titanfall 3 doesn't have the horrible, money-scheming, greedy microtransactions that Apex Legends has. I hope I'm wrong about this one, though I don't think I will be. If you made it this far into the video, I would like to ask you to subscribe. That's all. If you liked the video, feel free to like it or dislike it if you didn't like it, but please help me reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this summer. Thank you guys for listening so much, and as always, I'll talk to you later. Have a nice day.